This is TikTak and welcome to the first episode of the Storm Report. We will be reviewing the week of Fortnite, what to buy, what's good, what's changed, and a few highlights throughout the week. Let's get right into it. These past weeks, they have introduced a few new neon weapons that have been released in the event shop. If you are limited on gold, we will tell you which ones to buy and which one to avoid, starting with the sniper rifle and ending with the incredibly powerful and fun to use Noble Launcher. First up, we have the new neon sniper rifle. If you're low on gold, there are absolutely better choices in the event store. This is a gimmicky weapon that can see and shoot through walls, but it is not worth it. With decent static rolls but nothing great, I would stay clear of this weapon unless you're a collector. The problem is, the gimmick isn't worth it. The loss of DPS and it seems to be bugged with no active headshot modifier, even though the static roll says it should increase the damage per headshot. The only purpose this sniper has is to give it to a defender, build them into a windowless box so they cannot be attacked, and let them wreak havoc. And they will, but even then it will cost you a lot of energy ammo. I wouldn't even suggest this. This is a hard pass. Next, we have the Mercury LMG, which is an energy-based light machine gun that burns through a lot of costly energy ammo. With 40 stability and a small explosion on 5 consecutive shots, it can cause some minor CC amongst waves of enemies and has some decent damage. This gun can be alright. If you're new to the game, it can absolutely carry you to the end game in Twine Peaks. It wouldn't be a bad pickup, but there are definitely better guns around. This gun was handmade for the new hero, Bulletstorm Jonesy. And with his increased ammo capacity, fire rate, and reload speed, it can become quite useful and dish out a ton of DPS. However, like I said, there are better weapons, especially if you take into consideration the cost of energy ammo. The last and final weapon of this Storm Report is the Noble Launcher. This behemoth of a cannon is the first gun out of the entire event that, dare I say, is amazing. It has 2 unique mechanics that aren't seen much in the game, and it makes it stronger in every way. But first, it's a launcher. These can be very tiresome to actually acquire. I haven't actually gotten a decent one for over 9 months of playtime, and this one is definitely worth picking up. It has a 3 magazine clip, and the fire button can be held longer for a larger radius shot, using all 3 rockets to produce a new and unique explosion. It is a wide 2 to 3 tile shot that decimates anything that is in front of it, and it pierces enemies too. It can clean up almost all small husks in one shot, and I've had mine crit for over 122,000 damage. It also does not, I repeat, does not use energy ammo, which makes it much better overall. Also, with almost double the durability of other launchers, you get a lot of use from this gun, and its cost to craft ratio is excellent. Lastly, let's talk about the rolls. Fire rate, reload speed, damage, damage with affliction, and 30 damage to afflicted targets are great rolls. The fire rate is the only one that is subpar, but I think it may have something to do with the charge shot. We will never honestly know. Every other roll on this gun is amazing. Since it has piercing and applies affliction while shooting to a mob of husks, you may want to switch to another weapon that has a lot of damage to afflicted perks. It seems like an optimal choice you may want to try out. However, when I see this gun, it screams trap tunnel. Launch this thing down a trap tunnel and just watch stuff die. Be careful with it, as all launchers do set off propane tanks. Lastly, since it has piercing, it does a decent amount of damage to structures. A few shots with this thing, 2 to 3, and the entire building will crumble. If you need to make room for a trap tunnel, the structure, the base, or you want to make a pit to trap the enemies. Any of these things, this thing can tear down a building. The Noble Launcher is amazing. I suggest picking it up as soon as humanly possible. It is a great gun. It has everything you want. Great cost to craft ratio, awesome damage. It clears husks. It's amazing. It's a great gun. Pick it up before it's gone. Let's move on to the event store. First, we have the Scythe, which with the new Ninja, you might want to pick it up. It's a decent weapon. It is energy base, so you can double roll on an element, therefore making it one of the better weapons in the game. However, the moveset on the Scythe is not that great. You also have 2 Rangers available for purchase. Not the best gun in the game. It's not the best assault rifle. If you need one, pick it up. You need really, really good rolls on it to actually, for it to actually be useful. But if you need it and you have the extra gold to spare, no harm in picking them up. They're a decent gun You want to look for something like headshot damage, crit chance, element, something like that. And lastly, we have Centurion Wildcat, which if you need a soldier or if you're adding her to your collection book, feel free to pick her up. She's a decent soldier, not the best, not the worst. She falls somewhere in the middle. If you want to try her out, feel free. You know, she's free in the event store. Just pick her up. And lastly, we have wall darts, which are one of 2 damaging wall traps. I would absolutely pick these up. They have a 3 tile range, so you can stick them like in the corners and they'll shoot the entire length of your objective. They're really useful. Hopefully you get good rolls on them. They don't need great rolls. They still are effective. They still do what they do. I would absolutely pick these up. They are a must for any person who likes to trap. And on the weekly items, I would suggest picking up all of the evolution mats that you possibly can. I suggest doing that every single time, but don't hurt yourself and lose out on something good or legendary or something from the event store. I would suggest picking up the wall lights and the Maverick if you need them. The Maverick can be a decent shotgun. It's not the best in the world, but if you're playing the new shotgun hero, the Bunny, and you want to run a shotgun, there's no harm in trying it out. It takes a different currency. If you have extra, feel free to pick it up. It can roll pretty well. It's a 2-shot shotgun. Not the best in the world, but it's not terrible. If you want to try it out, pick it up. But everything else except the hammer, do not get the hammers. Hammers are not very good. They are decent on defenders, and that's it. Even the heroes that are spec'd to do extra hammer damage still don't work. They need to be buffed, but that's a story for another day. Don't pick up the hammers. Anything else on the weekly store, buy at a needs basis. So if you actually need it, pick it up. If not, just stay clear of it. With all these new and cool energy neon weapons that use energy ammo, there's been a lot of backlash about how costly energy ammo is to make, mainly the bacon and blast powder components. So Epic Games decided to increase a few things to make it a bit easier to craft ammo. Firstly, every time you craft it, you get 25% more, which is a huge plus. It actually adds up really quickly. There's more bacon in the world. I think the number was 20% more bacon in the world. So if you get a can of Spam and it usually only has 1 bacon in it, now it'll have 2. I know, again, it doesn't sound like much, but it does add up. You can get up to, I believe it's 3 to 5 pieces if you're really lucky and maybe running a double loot finder, like Recon Jess or Recon Scout rather. And lastly, every time you find ammo in an ammo container and energy ammo pops out, you get 12 instead of 10. Once again, doesn't sound like a lot, but it does add up. In this game that you see behind you, actually, I had run out of energy ammo. I made 20 and it gave me over 2,000 ammo. We really have to appreciate what Epic is doing and how they are listening to the community. Second off, they have talked about rerolls. Rerolls are coming in patch 4.2. They will be singular rerolls. It's not going to be like Warframe where you have a Riven and you need to reroll the entire Riven, and if you don't like what you got, you're kind of screwed. That's not going to happen here, which is awesome. They did say that certain perks are not going to be able to roll, so maybe that gun you're holding that's 4 crit damage and 1 crit chance perk and all you need is an element on it won't be able to get that element. We'll see. There's a lot of theories going around. My buddy says that the reason they're capping seasonal gold is because that's going to be part of the reroll currency. Sounds good. We'll see what it actually is. Speaking of seasonal currency, they are making a cap to 5,000. From what they've said is when the reroll happens, normally they take away all of your currency. They're not doing it this time. They are just capping it at 5,000. So they said you are allowed to keep what you have, and then once you hit 5,000, that's where you stay. So if you have 20,000 and the reroll happens, you will still have 20,000 until you use it all up and hit that 5,000 mark, and you will not be able to go above 5,000. Again, sounds pretty good. Reasoning of the reroll system, maybe it is. We'll check it out. We'll see. And last but not least, they released a new video, a dev update, and somebody on Reddit took a clip of the video, and it looks like that mini bosses might start giving rewards. As you kill them, they drop actual loot and things that are useful. Don't know if it's a bug, a clip, or an update that's coming up. We will see. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us here at the Storm Report, your weekly event store, need to know information destination. If there's anything relevant that I may have missed, leave a comment down below and we'll get back to you. Till next week, this is TikTak and we are out.